Well, how you been, sir? How you been?
Well, I've been enthralled with the news, as many other people have, and it's been a let's just say a tough year all around. I would say tough year. Not 2025, not my best, not my favorite. Would not recommend. Zero,
Why do you
one
say
and a
that,
half
sir?
stars.
I got to say, why would you say that, sir?
Well, personally or professionally.
Yes. I mean, sir, it's been too long since we've talked, so I'm a little just curious. Like, I want to catch up with life
Sure.
with you for a little bit
Okay, I'll
before we
give you a
dive
run
into it.
through. I don't really want to get into the weeds on it too much because most of my community know it by now. But at the start of the year, my house burned down and I lost
Oh,
everything I owned. Uh, you know, uh, everything from all my camera gear to my mother's urn to my pets to everything.
mm.
And then a month after that, I had to bury the man who raised me. And then a month after
Ugh.
that, I'm back on the front line of the largest war in the world. And so, it's been kind of like it's been a rough year personally, and of course professionally. I don't see any end for the war in sight. All the talk on the campaign trail about a fast end to the war seemed to not really come to fruition. And even though, of course, I'm not a big Trump fan, most people probably know that by now. At the end of the day, if the man can bring a reasonable end to the bloodshed that isn't like, hey, Ukraine, give up all your weapons and hope the Russians don't attack again, something naive, then, I'd be happy. I get to go home. I get to go back to Maryland, eat my crab cakes, and relax on the beach, and smoke a joint, and relax and spend the time how I want to. But instead, I'm back here, and I just got back from the Konstantinivka front, and it's pretty bad there. Aid workers were getting hunted by drones. The elderly and the disabled are the people who are making up, the majority of the residents now that still reside in these locations, and it's very bad all across the front line, and it's gotten worse this year. The violence, the hunting of civilians in Kherson has gotten worse. Firefighters, ambulance crews have been targeted. Sometimes they'll hit a civilian like a babushka or somewhere going to get their medicine, and then an ambulance crew will come to go get them, and the ambulance will be hit, and then the firefighters will come in order to put out the fire, and then the fire truck will be hit. And this type of attacks have been escalated. The attacks on major cities have been escalated. I mean, before like a year ago, if it was over 100 drones going at big cities, that was like a big thing. Like, oh my gosh, 100 drones—that's a lot. Yet last night, I was woken up like 4 or 5 times because drones were ramming into apartment blocks that are just right there. You know,
Last night.
last night, 427 drones, 20 to 30 ballistic missiles. This is happening on a daily basis. And U.S. citizens were killed last night. 14 people were killed. I mean, there was a horrible report of these parents looking at their collapsed building as they were waiting to see if their child was going to be brought out of the rubble, and just the horror of anyone having to go through that. And so for me, both professionally and personally, 2025 not the best year.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that, sir. Me personally, sir, I've kind of stepped back. My best friend Tony, he was giving me a hard time saying that I've fit about 6 years of life into the last 2 years. And it sounds like you've fit about 15 into the last three. So I've got a few questions about that here shortly. But me personally, sir, I'm a this last year has been blessed for me. I've found my wife. We just had our son. I was elected to the church board, so I'm, actually straightening up my act, if you will. I'm not quite as wild as I was back in the olden days, but it's still so. Yeah, to me, life has been blessed. So I'm really sorry to hear about that. But
Congratulations on your child. And how's your nephew doing?
you know what? Thank you for mentioning that because, like, a lot of people don't know this about Mr. Dillon here. Before he was Mr. Internet War Correspondent Extraordinaire, he did the Hippy Dippy podcast and all the fun stuff there. And he helped me raise money for my nephew Oliver when he was battling pediatric cancer. And at that point, Dylan didn't know me from Adam. He didn't know who I was. What, like, we had talked like for like 2 minutes once, and you still put on everything that you could help to. You just basically gave me the platform and let me try to say like, hey, go here to donate to my nephew Oliver. Now, my nephew Oliver, a very aggressive pediatric cancer that was in his inner ear. We thought he wasn't going to make it. He actually survived. He just had his 3-year scan about a month ago, and thus far he is 3 years cancer free.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes. So yeah, that is like it was miraculous, and yeah, it's I pray for him every day and everybody that was part of your community. There was a lot of prayers sent in from that, so thank you for that most of all. And so yeah, like here's the thing, Dylan, you and I are going to have some differences, but I know as a person, you'll show up for the right thing if it happens. And